Good day, I'm Lisa Rowe and this is your JIS News for Thursday, March 27, 2025. Several issues that have been the source of regional and public concern in Jamaica in recent weeks, in the wake of new policy directives from the United States government, were addressed by U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio in a joint press conference with Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness yesterday. Our reporter, Jabertha Atkinson, has the details.
U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio left the island today after wrapping up a two-day high-level visit to the country, his first to Jamaica since taking on the job. Following bilateral talks with Prime Minister Andrew Holness at Jamaica House, he gave clarity on the future of foreign aid to Jamaica, the Cuban medical program, and impact of travel advisories issued for the island. Secretary Rubio reaffirmed that the United States was not stepping away from providing foreign aid, but said the approach would be more strategically aligned with the U.S. foreign policy priorities and the need of partner nations.
At the end, our partner in Jamaica, our partner all over the world, is the government. It's the host governments who have a clear vision for the future. And to the extent that our foreign aid can be helpful, it is in furtherance of what the people of your country have elected you to carry out.
The U.S. Secretary of State and Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness also discussed Washington's recent warning that it may impose visa restrictions on officials linked to the Cuban Medical Corporation program and what that means for countries like Jamaica who participate in the arrangement. Secretary Rubio has accused the Cuban government of exploiting medical workers, but Prime Minister Holness stressed that this is not the case in Jamaica, as the government adheres to best practices in keeping with international labor laws.
Jamaica has a deficit in health personnel, primarily because many of our health personnel have migrated to other countries. We are, however, very careful not to exploit the Cuban doctors who are here. We ensure that they are treated within our labor laws and benefit like any other worker. So any characterization of the program by others certainly would not be applicable to Jamaica.
In response, the U.S. Secretary of State said he would engage with the Jamaican government to gain a better understanding of the local situation with the program.
Every country operates their program differently. And obviously, because of our relationship with Jamaica, we're going to engage with them on that and talk about it further and have a better understanding. Perhaps none of this applies in the way it's handled here.
Another vexing issue with specific implications for the tourism sector is the matter of travel advisories issued for the island, with a current warning advising Americans to reconsider visiting the country due to high crime rates. Prime Minister Holness challenged that designation.
Jamaica today is safer than at any time in the last 2 decades. In fact, crimes against visitors represent less than 0.01% of the more than 3 million visitors to Jamaica annually.
The U.S. Secretary of State said the matter would be reviewed.
Those travel advisories are designed to American travelers. And I think we need to analyze that and just ensure that the status we're currently in accurately reflects the status quo and takes into account the progress you've already made this year and made last year, year over year, which I think is one of the highest numbers in terms of reductions that we've seen of any country in the region.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness revealed that plans were in place for discussions with the U.S. State Department to ensure they accurately reflect Jamaica's current realities and support tourism.
Also coming out of the U.S. Secretary of State's high-level visit to Jamaica, a renewed commitment to partnership on security matters of concern to both countries and the wider Caribbean. The areas of cooperation include combating transnational crime, border security, lottery scamming, trafficking of guns, and building safer communities.
We are committed in ensuring our partnership delivers results in driving down criminality and trafficking in this hemisphere.
What we're talking about here when we talk about American assistance is America helping Jamaica build its own capacity, its own ability to confront these challenges and solve these problems, because security is a baseline for everything.
On the specific issue of lottery scamming, the U.S. Secretary of State pledged the provision of synthetic detection equipment, software, and night vision technology. While in Jamaica, Mr. Rubio also met one-on-one with the Prime Ministers of Barbados and Trinidad and Tobago, as well as the head of Haiti's Transitional Council. Jamaica has been identified as a key candidate for increased manufacturing relocation as the United States government moves to realign its global trade policies. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the opportunity is mutually beneficial as Jamaica's proximity to North America would improve supply chains and enhance economic ties.
But it makes all the sense in the world to see more productive capacity, more manufacturing, more industry relocated into our hemisphere. We certainly have the labor and the population and the desire to do so in our hemisphere. It's closer to the end markets. And so we want to pursue opportunities to make that possible, and creation of not just jobs, but jobs that pay even better than the jobs that maybe some could find.
He also highlighted America's interest in exporting liquefied natural gas, LNG, to the Caribbean.
You cannot have manufacturing without reliable and affordable energy. And so it's one of those things that I think potentially we could continue to partner along.
In other news, more than 800 primary and secondary schools across Jamaica are set to benefit from a science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics STEAM education in schools program. The initiative, set to cost £1.7 million, will provide valuable STEAM educational opportunities and training for teachers and students over the next 3 years. It was launched recently as a joint effort of the Ministry of Education, E-Learning Jamaica, the National Education Trust, and the Microbit Educational Foundation and the British Council.
The British Council remains committed to working alongside Jamaica to open those doors of opportunity, to inspire new generations of thinkers, creators, and leaders, and to ensure that no young person is left behind in the digital age.
Education Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon describes the program as a critical cross-agency and bilateral partnership that will help the government achieve its goal of making Jamaica a STEAM country.
We expect through this project to have over 10,000 teachers trained in STEAM education. Also, 1,350 master STEM teachers will also be trained, and there'll be some courses that will be done online and offline. Over 7,000 primary teachers will also be receiving hands-on training because we understand that you have to start early. And so in the primary schools, it's very important.
Additionally, approximately 32,000 programmable microbit devices will be distributed to primary school students, providing them with an opportunity to explore coding and digital creation. E-Learning Jamaica will provide laptops, desktops, tablets, interactive panels, and projectors to support the program's delivery. And finally, the National Housing Trust, NHT, is seeking to partner with international and local developers towards providing low-income homes on land owned by the housing agency. Senior General Manager for Construction and Development at the NHT, Brian Saunders, says under the initiative, the developers will undertake the requisite funding and designs for the housing projects. The NHT will purchase 80% of the housing units at a reduced cost, while the developers have the option of retaining the remaining 20% for sale. Interested developers must submit an application form to become pre-qualified.
We have a portal that the projects that are available are advertised, and the developers throughout the life of the program can now download the application process, provide the necessary documentations so that they can be admitted through our pre-qualification process, which we assess in terms of their track record.
Interested parties may reach out to the NHT on its website, nht.gov.jm. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Lisa Rowe. Thanks for watching.